Hi everyone, I'm here to talk to you about sentence variety, and I'm trying to get my PowerPoint up so I have some examples to show you. And one of the handouts that I'm referring you to this week is this one. Let me scroll back to the first page. I was kind of just going through it, um, called Sentence Variety. And some of you have seen this before. You saw it at the end of English 121. I think it's one of the better exercises I've ever taught from, so I tend to give it out every semester. And the reason I think it's so great is it shows some sentence types that a lot of exercises don't show. So this is one of the reasons why I show it. So the first thing the handout does is it asks you to think about what a normal sentence is. It's identifying for you subject and verb here. And it has some adverbs at the beginning of the sentence, not a big deal. What you might want to do to help yourself to identify some sentences you want to revise is trying to find 1 to 3 normal sentences. The handout's calling it a normal sentence. I would call it a regular sentence or, a basic sentence. There's nothing fabulous about the sentence. It's just a subject and a verb. So then it takes you through 3 different sentence types. The inverted, which means you're going to take your subject and your verb and you're going to put it at the end of your sentence. Okay? So I'll show you some examples in a minute. Then the handout has types of sentences at a glance. And I've added some notes in here. I added this is a correct number 3. A lot of you are still struggling with number 3s. In your writing, it means that you have a subject and a verb and a subject and a verb, but you're combining it with the word but or and or so or. And so you do need a comma before the but because this is a complete sentence or a main clause as the handout points out. This is a main clause, but you're combining it with a coordinating conjunction, so you have to have a comma there. So this is a correct one. It's called a compound sentence. That's what our handout says. Then you can also do a complex. Oh, sorry. I highlighted this one for Maddie, who was talking about semicolons during class today. There's a semicolon here, and then an adverbial conjunction like therefore, in addition, or moreover, all kinds of words like that, and then a comma after that. So this is a nice, these are both compound sentence types. Then there's some complex sentence types and some compound complex sentence types. So make sure you look over this part too, because this part will give you some other ideas for different kinds of sentences. But for the reflection essay, you're going to work mostly on inverted, and it gives you this box of sentence types. So take a look at that. And then it also gives you 2 more types, the cumulative sentence. So this is a sentence, you can read the definition on the handout, but this is a sentence where you basically find a normal sentence or a basic sentence and you realize, wow, I don't really have enough detail. I could add a lot more detail in it. And so check this one out. It's very, very long. It starts with they and came, and then there's a bunch of listed details in the sentence. So that's a good one to write to get a lot more detail in a section of your essay. And then the final sentence I want you to practice in your reflection essay is a periodic sentence. And I've had students say to me, hey, it's kind of like a cumulative and an inverted all the way, a cumulative and a cumulative and an inverted combined. And it kind of is. But imagine you have a sentence that just says, the man drives. And you realize you could put a lot more detail into the sentence. So you could put the man drives at the end and give a lot of detail at the beginning. And notice that each detail has a comma separating it. Okay? So these are the 3 sentences I want you to practice. I have 3 sentence examples just to share a little bit more with you. We're only at 4 minutes for this video, so this is super fast and you can watch this more than once. But let's say I found this normal sentence in my essay. Annie eats the plastic tree branch. And I just put a little parentheses here so you know I'm talking about my cat. So I can turn this into an inverted sentence by adding a word like how or what at the beginning. How the plastic tree branch is eaten by the cat, and I've changed the verb to a passive verb construction a little bit. So it's okay to have some passive sentences here and there. So this is a way cooler sentence style because it's totally putting the verb and the noun at the end of the sentence. maybe I have I'm writing about cooking sausage gravy or something. My kid and I were eating sausage gravy on a burrito the other day. So I can ask a question instead of having an exclamation point at the end. I can say, oh, what a talent I have after I talk about something. Why being outdoors is my favorite place. Just, another kind of silly sentence. So the deal is the deal is that um, these kinds of sentences are really, really great for a moment where you really do want to kind of stress a surprise, stress something silly. And that's why these sentences seem a little weird. So I wouldn't just do an inverted sentence anywhere. I'd make sure you think it's going to stress something pretty significant to your reader. So one inverted I'll be looking for in your reflection essay. Um, let's see, the cumulative sentence. So let's say I have a basic sentence. Here's my subject, here's my verb. Um, revision is heavy work. So this is the one we saw in the handout where there were a bunch of listed items at the end. So I changed this up by putting a colon right here and then listing a bunch of stuff we can do when we're revising. Okay, so notice this is just a list. So again, if you find a normal sentence, a basic sentence that seems pretty kind of general in a way, you could definitely add some more detail using this cumulative sentence. And then the final sentence, the periodic. So I came up, I said my original sentence was just Beth ate, and then I decided to add, just like the example, 3 layers of detail before I said Beth devoured the spaghetti. Leaning back on her overstuffed pillow, her feet under her bedspread, a dish towel laying on her chest, Beth devoured the spaghetti. So way more information, more detail here than in this sentence. All right, so that's all I have on sentence variety, except one more thing I wanted to show you. This is the website that I put on the revision assignment page, and I really love this example. So you'll notice that the first all the way to here are these simple sentences, 5, 6-word sentences. Then it starts to change. Now listen, and then every sentence is a different length. Notice this is 2 words, this one's longer, this is 1 word, this one's longer. And notice that the writer is using um, all sentence lengths, and the longer ones have lots of commas. So learning how to do the cumulative, learning how to do the periodic will help you to write some sentences that are much longer. Look how long this one is. The last one is too many words to count, but look how long it is compared to this little sentence, this little sentence. So take a look, read this. You'll even probably feel there's more music in this part of the paragraph because the sentences are varied up. And what I notice about a lot of your writing is that you'll use a lot of the same structures over and over. A lot of sentences that start with, in the beginning, comma, and then the rest of the sentence, or lots of those correct number threes. So I notice you using a lot of the same sentence lengths, but if you could write something from here down to here down to show the music in your sentences, your essays will read a lot a lot more nicely because you're trying to have variety in your sentences instead of the same sentences over and over. So this is a really good example to look at. I think there's another example down too where it shows some different sentence styles in the piece. So take a look at that one as well. All right, I hope you are all well, and I will talk to you later.